Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Corner, and this is me, your host, Spider Slayer. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm feeling under the weather. I'm trying to get over the flu. That's why I haven't been doing as many videos this week. But I had to get this video across because this is a new series that I'm starting. And all my brothers and sisters out there in the comic book world do this as well, and it's basically a comic book review. And the name of this comic book review is going to be called Spider Slayer Stack. And each week I'll be going through the stack of comics that I read and giving my point of view and my opinion of all the comics that I read. Now I'll still do the detailed reviews that I do on the other comics, like I'll do The Walking Dead that I do each month in detail, and I'll also do selected books with a detailed walkthrough. And then if any of you guys want a subscriber's request to a specific book that you want walkthrough, I'll do that as well. Now for the other books that I haven't gone through, I will do a regular stack review, which is what I'm doing today. And I also put in the other books that I reviewed already, just in case for other viewers that don't want a detailed walkthrough of the comic and they don't want everything spoiled. So this way I give you guys now both worlds. So I give you detailed review and just a little review of each book. So this way, for the person who doesn't want everything spoiled, they have an idea of what is going on a little bit in the comic and if it's worth buying. So with that being said, let's go through the first stack of Spider Slayer stack. So the first one is Image Comics, and this will be Alpha Girl issue number 1. I did do a detailed review on this, and I suggest that a lot of you guys check that video out because I think this is going to be a fun series to read. The first series really built up the character tremendously. Basically, the comic takes place in the 1980s, and it's not necessarily a zombie apocalypse. It's basically a cosmetic experiment gone wrong, where it's been trialed on people and they somehow get under the influence of this crazy gas and they become these green looking people that start, I don't know, eating other people. And supposedly right now, Judith Myers, who's the main character, is the one that is supposedly, I guess, the last girl standing. I'm not sure if that's true, but her goal is to rescue her brother from a juvenile hall, and then she and her brother were brought up in a broken home. This is a fun read. The colors are very bold, very colorful, very cartoony. Again, I've showed this in the haul and I showed this in a detailed walkthrough. But it is a very good comic book. After reading it, I was very pleased. It has me looking for more in this particular series. You can see here the main character, and she's very nice looking, very very good colors, very cartoon like. It's just got a lot of animation in the characters. And right off the bat though, I wouldn't recommend it for younger kids because it's got pictures like this and it has to do with drug paraphernalia and things like that. But very first off, I do recommend Alpha Girl. I suggest you guys buy that. So that's the first one today that we've gone through that goes on the wall here. And you probably can't see it, but there'll be other comics there. So, sorry guys. It's been a rough week for me, being so sick and everything. So, that will go up there for now. Next we have Invincible, issue number 88. Spectacular issue. This series has been so slow for about 6 months after the Ultramite War for you guys who do read Invincible. And if you do not read Invincible, I know it's 88 issues into this series, but in order to catch up, you don't have to buy all the issues. You can buy the trades. They got some good trades out there that cover a lot of the issues. They're not incredibly expensive. They got hardcover trades if you're looking to spend like $50 on them. It's definitely well worth it. This series has lots of jam-packed action in it. It has its ups and downs, but the ups are so worth it. I mean, the battle scenes, the art. The art's done by Ryan Ottley, and this book is also done by Robert Kirkman. It's a very good series. But in this particular issue, um, Alan, who is um, he's one of the guys here that has to make a tough choice in releasing this virus into the Earth's atmosphere to kill off the rest of the Voltramite soldiers. These soldiers were actually um, living on Earth. There was made a truce between Mark and his father that the Voltramites can coexist with the Earthlings on their planet to get their people back in order, since there was only 30 of them, but they are very strong, 30. And Alan, this particular alien right here, is a leader of their coalition, and again, he's trying to release this virus because he feels that these people are dangerous, and once they get their army back together and they regroup, he feels that they're going to take over the universe again. So that's why he wants to release this virus. Now, what happens at the end of this book is crazy, and it's totally unexpected. And I was just like, "Oh my God, is this serious?" But the end of this issue is just awesome, and wherever this book is going to go from here on out, I am not sure. So for Invincible fans, this book is very definitely worth the read, especially if you guys are thinking about dropping this book because of how slow it is. But Robert Kirkman has promised to get this book out on time, back on schedule, and and it looks like it's going to be action-packed for quite a few months to come, probably for within the whole year. So pick up Invincible, guys. Definitely worth it. So that's going up there. Invincible. Next, Savage Dragon, issue number 178. And this issue here is pretty good. It always starts off with some crazy battling and stuff like that. Malcolm here is basically just destroying, some crazy weird creature. His girlfriend breaks up with him, but there's not any real substance to this particular issue besides them wanting to save the world. But the artwork in this issue is really, really good. I'm always a fan of Eric Larson. Very good art, very good stuff here. Look at this alien creature. I mean, that's pretty awesome right there. I'm always a fan of this. But this sets up a new story arc in this particular issue. Malcolm and Angel are basically facing this alien creature, and they have to stop this alien creature. Now, what happens at the end of this issue, I'm not going to tell you, but it's pretty awesome what is going to happen in the future. Angel and Malcolm have been protecting Earth since their father supposedly died, but he has died and he's come back to life, and now he's trying to find a planet for his people. So he's off in the distance, and the book is still focusing on the two kids. When actual Dragon makes an appearance back on the book continuously, we'll see when that happens. But this book is pretty good. It wasn't bad. Basically rating wise, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Back on the wall. Next, Venom, issue number 13, Circle of 4. I did a detailed review on this issue. I had a tough time explaining it because I am not a Ghost Rider fan. Chris, Dark Avenger, C86 said it tremendously. If you want to watch his review on what this book is about. But this story is basically featured around Ghost Rider, and this was not a Venom book. I can honestly say that when I picked up this particular issue, I was so excited for 13.1, 2, 3, and 4, and the whole story part leading up to this. And I was just so disappointed. I was just so disappointed in the whole thing because It's not a Venom book. It really has nothing to do with Venom. The whole story, all the characters, everything about it has to do with Ghost Rider. And it's just like, I don't buy Venom to read about Ghost Rider, you know? So I thought the reason why these four characters were going to come together because they had to stop Venom or they had to beat some new creature, some new enemy. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I was expecting some some toxin to get out and they were to battle toxin. I don't know what I was expecting in this particular issue, but I was just so disappointed in it. And again, just because I have all the issues of Venom so far, I just might read the story just to see if I can understand it. Maybe it will get better, maybe not. But if you are a Venom fan and you're expecting something out of this, and you know, it's nothing to do with Venom. And if you're a Ghost Rider fan, you'll like it. So, but for me, I wasn't a fan of it at all. Not the story, really. The artwork from Tony Moore, who did The Walking Dead when The Walking Dead first came out, does the artwork in this particular issue, and it's very well done. I am not going to rag on the artwork at all. You know, the first couple pages of this book actually started off like a Venom book. You know, you see Flash Thompson here and everything like that, and then it just totally took a different direction. And like I said in my detailed video of this particular book, is that it was a slap in the face for me. It kind of just like, whoa, what the heck, you know? So again, not a fan of this one, guys. I gave it a bad rating, you know, for me, and I just don't recommend it. You might want to skip it until the next story arc comes out if you're a Venom fan and not a Ghost Rider fan. Next, Batman Detective Comics, issue number 6. Price point on this book is $2.99, but I heard it is going up to $3.99. And two reasons why I'm going to drop this book. I don't like this story arc right now. I didn't like the last issue. I didn't like this issue. It's all over the place. I had no idea what was going on. He never faced Penguin. Penguin had nothing to do. He's got this crazy casino, and they're raising the price of this book $1, and I'm not going to pay $1, you know, when they promised, you know, books to be $2.99. Now, if the story is really, really good, I'm going to pay that $1, you know, extra. Like Amazing Spider-Man, if it's $3.99, it's a good story, I'm always going to read it, regardless of the situation. Justice League, it's really, really good story. I'm going to pay attention to it. But this particular book, I just don't like it right now. There's a lot of Batman books out there, and I don't need to collect all of them. I got Batman overload as it is. I don't read Batman and Robin, but I do read Batman, and I also read Dark Knight. So 2 Batman titles for me is good. I don't need to read all of them. So it looks like I'm going to drop this particular book. If you're a huge Batman fan, you might like this one, but I just wasn't a fan of it. I mean, the artwork is good and everything else, but it's just all over the place, and with so many Batman titles out there, I get confused with them all. So it's not a bad thing that I'm necessarily dropping this title, but yeah, I didn't like it. Maybe it'll improve in the end, but again, it's not worth $3.99. I could get another book for that price and save myself $1. So that's it. Batman, issue number 6. Next, Green Arrow, issue number 4. I know this is issue 4. They're on issue number 6. I like this Green Arrow series. I actually dropped it earlier because I had so many books that I was buying, especially since New 52 came out. I just tried to whittle out comics that, you know, that I was purchasing, and I don't know why I got rid of this, because seriously, you know, you guys out there, this is just my opinion, but I love this series. Like, I love the cartoon, I love the comic art in this series. It reminds me of the 90s. It's got good color, nice detail. There's a lot of action in the book, a lot of battling against people. It's a good storyline that started off in this one, because this was a new story arc. I have 5 and 6 at hold at the comic book store, but this introduces the Blood Rose, And for Green Arrow, he's she's a mystery to him. Never fought her before, and at the end of the book, they're trying to battling each other, and and she's just not getting winded or tired or anything, and he's just like, what's going on? Also, on the other side of the story, Oliver McQueen is having troubles, um, actually having troubles balancing his work life and his everyday life. He just can't seem to stay focused with it, and it's taking a toll on him. So, but this series is pretty good. Again, I like it a lot. It's very interesting, and I know issue 6 concluded this story arc. So again, 5 and 6 I have on hold, so I still have to read those. Issue 7 starts a new creative team, but the way it looks, the artwork still looks pretty good on it, and so I'll be picking that up. So it's good. I'll be dropping a Batman title, and I'll be getting this one again. So counteracts, and again, I'll save the dollar. So Green Arrow was not a bad read for me, so I'm gonna keep that one. Next, these are titles that have been out for a while, and I really wanted to do reviews on these. I just didn't get a chance. But the next one is Batman issue number 5. This was the whole owl thing, and Batman is trapped, and I love how this comic works. I think this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Batman is just missing. He's trapped, and he can't go out, and he's just lost his mind. And you can see he's just trapped in these rooms and everything like else. And he sees all these pictures of people that were trapped in here, and he's just going loco in this building here. And what was good as this comic goes along, pages start turning, and I was like, what is this? You know? And it's kind of like as Batman goes crazy, you're kind of going crazy as you're reading this book. Because again, you get another one like this. And then as the pages go along, it starts turning this way. And then you flip it back, and you're like, okay. But now it starts flipping upside down. And now as a reader, you're sitting here going, okay, which way do I start turning the book? And it's just like, am I turning it the right way? Am I turning it upside down? So it's kind of going along with the read. That's what made this particular book so interesting. I love that aspect of the book. Sorry guys, that was my dog seeing a squirrel. But I love this aspect of the book, and Capullo's art is just tremendous. See, even closing it, I get confused. It's just a good book. I love it tremendously. And you can see Robin is just waiting for Batman. Batman's just not coming. But this is a good read, guys. I hope you guys are all reading this one. But that was issue 5. This was out a couple weeks ago. So, excellent book. I just love how well done that one was. It drove me crazy just as much as Batman was being driven crazy. Okay, next, we got issue 5 of The Dark Knight. This one was a couple weeks back, too. This book here, I enjoy this storyline, but I am ready for this storyline to come to an end. And this must have been the quickest comic book that I have ever read in my entire life. Like, it's like Terror of the Scarecrow. And what's happening in this particular issue is Batman is getting affected by Scarecrow's crazy, toxin that's been affecting everybody else that's going through the same process. And Batman's trying to fight it, but he can't really fight it off. And what happens is he comes across a battle against Superman. And the next thing we see is Superman's in the picture, and they do a battle, and Superman kind of just flings him along, and then the issue's over. That's all that was to this issue. But, pictures say a lot of words in this story about what Batman is going through, which is nice, and I liked it. But it was just no dialogue in this story whatsoever. And I read it in 5 minutes. It was the quickest read ever. But again, it's nice to see artwork in a book. So this one was an okay read for me. But the greatest thing that I saw at the end of this issue was that they will be doing an issue with Bane in the next one. And the cover is going back to the old retro cover of the broken bat when Bane broke Batman's back. So that will be interesting to see. But I did like it, but it just was a quick read for me. So that's the end of that one. And next we have iZombie. This is a new series that I've tried to pick up and trying to read. It's in the middle of a story arc, and it's very, very hard for me to understand. I'm going to have to try to pick up a trade to try to see what's going on. But this character, she eats brains, and to keep her memories going on. And I can't sit here and explain this to you because it is a very, very hard one. So I might either read the trade to see if I can understand it, or I might just not read it anymore. This is their third issue that I've read, and I can't seem to quite get it because there's just so many characters, and for only 22 issues into it, there's like a lot of history going on in this book. So again, I just don't know yet. So we'll see about iZombie issue number 22. Next is crazily the only Marvel book I read right now, but this is Amazing Spider-Man 679. I'm trying to go through a rehaul of Marvel books that I read because there's just so much out there with Marvel, and all their books are so much money. It's just hard for me to pick which ones to read right now. I know I'm going to be getting Avengers vs. X-Men, but for now, this is Amazing Spider-Man issue 679. This was the Bad Tuesday issue, and basically Spider-Man had to go and save the world. And what happens is he does save the world, and it had nothing to do with Spider-Man. It had to do with Peter Parker, and it was a good issue. It was just like one of these filler stories, but it was a good story. It was a nice, solid story. It was fun to read these past two issues, and I wish that Ramos would just stay on every issue. I know he can't do every one because this book comes out like twice a month, and but I love his art. I love his artwork for Spider-Man. It just fits the book so particularly well. It's just when Slott and him came on big time, it changed the book 100 times over, and I just love it. I mean, when you have an opening page like this, you know, and I'm sorry to spoil it, but I think a lot of you guys read this already, but when you have an opening page like this, it's just like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And then when you have pages like like Silver Sable in here, you haven't saw her in a long time, but look at her. I mean, she just looks so intimidating. It just looks like she'll be out to kick someone's ass. I mean, it's just so well done, and it's so well written, you know. Even Spider-Man, like even here, even though he's exaggerated and he's a little skinny and everything, it just works. It just works so well. I can go on and on about this art, but the story was good for like a two-parter. It was just very well done, and the end of it just has you laughing on how everything just got started, and and the key thing was the whole Mary Jane issue. And here we see that Mary Jane is with Peter and giving her some advice that really turns his decision around on how to save the world, and it gets you hinting that maybe there is a possibility that for all of us who want them to get back together, yes, maybe they will get together, but maybe that's what they want you to think. So hopefully it comes true. So, but this issue was great. I gave this one a 5 out of 5, and it wasn't even a major, huge, crazy story plot. Just well-written book with great art. Nothing out there, no crossover, no major event, none of that. Just a nice story. That's what makes good comic books right there. So, folks, that is it. That is the end of episode 1 of Spider Slayer Stack. And I hope you guys like this. This gave you a little bit of all the comics that I read and a little bit of my opinions and what I thought of all of these comic books. So again, I will be trying to do this weekly. If not, it will be bi-weekly the most. So I'll have quite a bit of books to go over. But again, I apologize if my voice is all raspy. I'm just trying to get over the flu, and I wanted to get this video out to you guys who subscribe to me, and hopefully new subscribers will follow. So, till the next comic book review, this is Spider Slayer signing off, and I thank all you guys for watching. And take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.